Now bringing in Alex Caruso to our Q&A. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm good. I was hoping you would be rocking the headband. I'm a little disappointed.
I saved it for today. It's a little early.
How are you holding up with the quarantine?
I'm doing the best I can. I think like a lot of people, I'm just making the most of it. It's hard being cooped up, especially this time of year when we should be playing basketball and we should be doing multitude of things around the world, just being outside and having our daily lives. But I'm doing the best I can.
How are you staying in game shape and crisp with no access to NBA facilities, trainers? How are you kind of staying in game shape?
Game shape is hard to keep unless you're actually playing. But I think as close to game shape as possible is the goal. And I mean, it's just at home workouts, right? So the facilities are close. I live close to the beach and down in South Bay. So I've gone down to the beach, done some stuff on the beach. At home workouts in the garage, dribbling, like just basic ball handling stuff, like anything I can do to try and keep my body physically active.
Yeah. What's been the hardest part about all this for you personally?
I think for me, it's just the escalation of it was so quick that we didn't really get the time to prepare mentally for what this was going to be. Like all of a sudden we were played a game Wednesday or Tuesday. I was getting ready to watch the fanless game between the Warriors and the Nets on Thursday, and then before that game started, they canceled the game. So it all happened so quick, and for me, just not understanding, and I'm sure there's many people like me in the same boat in the NBA, just not understanding how big of a deal this actually was and how much it was going to affect us.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. I know that two of your teammates were impacted by it and tested positive. When you heard that, what was kind of your initial thought?
Just was wondering if I was in the same boat. Luckily, I was not, and I was healthy, but just I mean, just trying to give them the support they need and trying to do my part to quarantine so we don't spread it to other people.
Has with your two teammates, has it been a serious thing, or have they been asymptomatic? Or
Asymptomatic, so it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I'm gonna say it wasn't a big deal, but it's obviously a big deal. But for them, it wasn't as high priority, I think, as some other people.
what's in terms of keeping in touch with your teammates? Obviously, you guys aren't around each other. How do you guys do that? I assume you're on a group text or something.
Yeah, we got the group chat and on the phones, and then obviously social media. We still send each other stuff. Still funny videos and basketball talk, and then just every now and then somebody will be bored at home and need to get away for a minute.
I'm guessing, like the rest of the world, you're finding other ways to stay busy. I know you're a big Office guy. Is that the go-to show right now, or you
I
got
I
something
did
else?
restart The Office from episode one. I restarted that, and then one of my buddies I was talking to him the other day restarted Game of Thrones. I might look into watching some of those early seasons.
Yeah, I've done Game of Thrones twice already. I don't know if I could do it a third.
It's so good, and then you get to the end, and it's kind of
Yeah.
anticlimactic.
No doubt. Well, let's jump into a little bit of your path to the NBA. You obviously had a really good career at Texas A&M and then worked your way into the league through the G League. What was that process like for you?
I mean, it was exactly that. It was a process, I think it was a lot of me just evolving and growing and understanding the type of player I could be, and then obviously learning the pro game. It's so much different than college basketball. It took me a couple of years to kind of learn the ins and outs and get comfortable with the flow and how everything works. And I think I'm finally coming into stride. I mean, obviously, since I'm playing on the NBA level and playing well at times, and I think for me, it's just about continuing to grow and continuing to do the same thing that got me here, right? Just stay with the process of getting better each and every day and putting my head down and going to work.
You mentioned how different the game is from college to NBA. For guys that are looking to make that jump this year or in future years, what would you say is that biggest difference in how the games are different?
I mean, everybody talks about the speed of the game, and that's 100%. I mean, that's 100% accurate. There's no wasted movement. I don't know if it's necessarily faster, but it's definitely a more precise game, right? So like if you take one bad step right or left, either way, guarding somebody in college or maybe even the G League. You're good enough defender or athlete, you can get back in front and recover. If you do that against Dame, you do that against Kemba, Giannis, like those guys, or even guys that people don't know about, like a Seth Curry or a Rodney Hood, they're going to give you a bucket. So there's no room for error, and I think that's one of the things that I've really grown into is just being very precise with everything that I do.
Does coming up the way you did through the G League, does that make you hungrier in some aspects? Because obviously, like you said, it was a process.
Yeah, a little bit. There's always that chip of just you know not being drafted. That's the whole, like, everybody has that crown to wear whenever they're not drafted and they make it. But for me, I think it was always just I had a real strong intrinsic motivation to just want to compete and want to be good and want to win. And I think that kind of carried me. And then obviously along the way, I've picked up some extra chips of playing in the G League, going undrafted, um, whatever it is, multitude of things, and finally being able to catch up with the rest of the game and have those things. It's to my benefit for sure.
It seems like everybody that plays in the league kind of has their like welcome to the NBA moment. What was yours?
That's a good question. I don't know if there's one. There's one that I remember from I think it was my first year on two ways. Either my first year or my second year on two way, but we were playing against the Warriors, and it was when they still had Clay, Steph, KD, and I think the lineup out on the court for our front court or our back court was me, Lonzo Ball, and Isaiah Thomas. So I was obviously going to guard the best perimeter player for the other team, and we matched up. I was like, all right, well, IT's got him, and I was like, okay, Lonzo's got him, and I was like, all right, well. I looked over at Brian Keefe, our assistant, and he's just like smiling, looking at me like, all right, cool, I got KD. Uh, and I think my welcome to the league moment was probably that. And as soon as I pick up full court, he's coming down, he looks around, and then he just yells at somebody. He's like, hey, man, give me the ball. And he went 1 for 2, so I think I got one stop. But yeah, that was probably my moment of you got to buckle in and be ready to go and kind of prove yourself.
Right. You're now playing with arguably the greatest player of all time. What's it been like having LeBron as a teammate?
Yeah, great teammate first and foremost. Just like good person. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. Everybody likes to analyze his basketball game so much, and there's a lot to analyze because he's very good. But he's a heck of a teammate. Great person, just one of the guys. And then obviously his basketball kind of talks for itself, right? But being able to play with him has been special. For me to be able to have a guy like that, to learn behind, to watch, and just see how he works every day. That's probably been the biggest takeaway I've gotten from him is just his work ethic. He's one of the first ones in the gym every day. He's one of the last ones to leave. He's getting treatment. He's stretching out before. He's getting his work in, his lift, nutrition wise. He does it all. For him to be able to play like how he is at this time in his career, it doesn't look like he's slowing down. It's just a testament to how hard he's worked.
There's no washed king, right?
No Wash King for sure. For sure.
That team, you guys seem to you can kind of tell from social media and how you guys interact on the court that you guys get along pretty well. How was that kind of chemistry developed?
It was it picked up pretty quick, and I don't know how. I mean, credit to our front office for putting together a solid team of a group of guys that are just kind of focused on winning. Everybody's just themselves, and whatever it is, people just accept them for it. So honestly, it's been a breath of fresh air just to be able to have a team like this, because I don't think I've had a team like this close since maybe high school. And that says a lot because obviously I lived with my college teammates. I spent every day with them. Like I have some really good relationships and bonds with those guys, but this team just for some reason just is very professional, and then obviously very friendly with each other. Like we get along. Like I don't know how else to put it other than we just get each other.
Yeah. One of your best qualities as a player, really since, I was watching you back in high school, was your ability to defend, and you're known as a good defender. Who would you say have been the toughest 3 or 4 guys to guard in the NBA?
Yeah. I mean, KD's one of them. We already talked about him. Just his ability to shoot over you is unstoppable at times. That makes this mismatch so crazy. I'd say LeBron, obviously, I'd throw him in there. Um, I think Kyrie's up there, just because he can score at so many levels and his finishing is so good that even if like you stay in front of him, he still has a chance to make it. I think those three are definitely up there. I mean, I feel like I should name so many people because there's so many good players, but I mean those three are obviously anybody would put them up there, but there's many more. There's
Of
Steph,
course.
Clay, Kemba, so many guys, Luca, James.
Yeah, you seem to have developed such a following, especially among Laker fans. How did this
Yeah.
cult-like following develop and happen?
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, just me being on two-way the last couple of years, the team wasn't playing great at stretches, and anytime I came up, I usually played with great energy, and I usually performed decently well. So I think they just kind of latched onto that in a time of missing success for Lakers basketball, and then it blossomed into me being a rotation player on the first team in the West. That's title chasing and bringing the Lakers back to prominence. So I think it's just the perfect storm, and step by step we've just kind of tightened our bond, me and the fans.
Looking back over the last couple years, what's been the highlight for you? The best memory? Obviously, you've had some highlight reel dunks and some tremendous passes. But what would you say has been the best memory or your favorite play from your NBA career so far?
I don't know if there's one play that's probably my favorite, but I mean, the memory is signing the contract and then playing this year out, with the team and being on a good team and playing with LeBron and AD and the guys around me. But signing the contract in the summer when I had the conversation with my agent, because I'm young, I'm naive, I don't understand how it works, and I'm like, all right, so like, what do we do now after I have the great end of the season that I had? It's like we like talk to teams like, what are we doing in the summer? What do I need to do? And he's like, no, we've graduated from summer league. Like we're talking like we're gonna be on a roster somewhere next year. And when he told me that was the biggest kind of shoulder relax. Like, man, I actually put in enough work to be able to be in this position, and then signing the contract. Those are the two things that I think I'm most memorable for me.
That's awesome. Moving forward with this year, let's say you're in a decision-making chair. What do you think the NBA should do going forward? And obviously, there's a lot of uncertainty, but
Yeah.
is this a scenario where you think they could go straight into the playoffs? You think they should try to finish the regular season? What's your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, I mean, for a selfish standpoint, I would love to finish the regular season. I would love to finish the whole playoffs just for two reasons. One, it affects the money for all the players if we don't finish the regular season. And call us cheap, call us whatever you want. I mean, when someone takes a part of your paycheck, you always want it, no matter how much it
Right.
is. So there's that aspect, but then also the aspect of just wanting to get as many games with this team and make this playoff push with this team as I can, because I know it's a special unit and I know what we're capable of when we play at our best. And I think we're the best team in the world when we play at our best, and it's just about getting the opportunity to get back out there and prove it.
Yeah, for sure. Alex, man, I appreciate you taking the time out and jumping on with me, man. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, it was good catching up, man.